All right, let's just think about this for a second. Almost everything around you, your coffee, the car you drive, even the phone you might be holding right now, chances are a massive ship brought it across an ocean. I mean, we're talking about a fleet of over 50,000 merchant ships. That's the backbone of our entire global economy. And these aren't just, big boats. They are literal floating cities of steel, and they are absolutely essential to our modern way of life.
But that leads to a huge question, right? With so much on the line. I mean, crew safety, trillions of dollars in cargo, not to mention the health of our oceans. How in the world do we make sure these giants are actually up to the job? What's the safety net here?
Well, it turns out there is a system, and it's this remarkably detailed and, frankly, super rigorous standard that kind of acts as a guardian for all of global trade. It's called RISC. That stands for Right Ship Inspection Ship Questionnaire. The easiest way to think about it, it's like the ultimate head-to-toe health check for a massive cargo ship. It's this standardized rulebook that's used all over the world to make sure a vessel is safe, well-managed, and truly ready for its journey.
And here's the really crucial point. This whole risk thing, it's not just about ticking off a bunch of boxes on a checklist. No way. It's a proactive defense system. Its whole job is to sniff out potential problems before they turn into actual disasters out on the ocean.
So what does one of these inspections actually feel like? I mean, you can probably guess it's not just some quick walkthrough with a clipboard. It's an incredibly structured, almost choreographed process.
Okay, so every single physical inspection has to follow these 3 stages. It's mandatory. First up, there's an opening meeting with the ship's master, to lay out the plan. Then you have the inspection itself, where the inspector and one of the ship's officers literally go through everything. And finally, you have a closing meeting to go over everything they've found.
And yeah, this is not a quick glance. I mean, just look at the time commitment here. A standard inspection takes 10 to 12 hours. 10 to 12 hours of dedicated, onboard time. Even the fastest version with 2 inspectors still takes 6 or 7 hours. That just shows you how incredibly thorough this whole thing is.
And the inspectors themselves? They're held to the exact same high safety standards. They've got to wear the full set of gear. We're talking steel-toed boots, helmets, high-vis vests, the works. It really paints a picture, doesn't it? This is a serious, hands-on job in a heavy industrial environment.
So you might be wondering, what on earth are they looking at for 10 to 12 hours? Well, the scope of this questionnaire it's just massive.
Okay, so the risk is broken down into more than 17 sections, and it covers, literally every single part of the vessel and its operation. You've got crew training, navigation systems, pollution controls, the actual structure of the hull, the machinery down in the engine room, and of course, how the cargo is handled. Absolutely nothing gets overlooked. And the level of detail is it's incredible. For instance, the questionnaire gets into stuff like dunnage. Now that's just the material, usually wood, they use to brace the cargo and keep it from sliding around. It might sound like a tiny detail, right? But think about it. In a rough sea, that little detail becomes critical. If the dunnage fails, you've got tons of cargo breaking loose, basically turning into giant battering rams inside the ship's hold. So yeah, pretty important.
Or how about something super specific, like the working load limit, the WLL? That's the absolute max safe force you can put on a mooring line, the ropes holding the ship to the dock. If you go over that limit, that line can snap with explosive force. I mean, it's incredibly dangerous for the crew, and now you have a massive vessel just drifting free. So it's this focus on precise engineered safety that stops these disasters from happening.
And a goal of all this? It's really simple and direct. I love how the manual itself puts it. The inspection is meant to reflect the actual condition of the vessel at the time of inspection. It's not about its history, it's not about its potential. It is a pure snapshot of reality on that specific day. That's it.
And this is so important. The risk isn't some dusty old rulebook. It's a living, breathing document that is constantly evolving. I mean, look at this. Just in the last few years, it's been updated with new safety procedures, clearer terminology, and, this is a big one, new rules for handling the next generation of fuels like methanol and ammonia. It has to adapt to keep up with the industry. Okay, so what happens when an inspector finds something wrong? Something that doesn't meet the standard? Well, the process definitely doesn't just end with a bad mark on a report.
They have a specific name for it, a finding. And it's a very neutral term, right? It just means an observed situation where objective evidence shows a rule isn't being met. It could be something as simple as incorrect paperwork, or it could be a serious physical problem. And when a finding is officially recorded,
This number becomes maybe the most important number in the world for the ship's management team.
They get just 15 days. And get this, it's not just to fix the problem. They have to do a full root cause analysis and present a plan for how they're going to prevent it from ever happening again. That is a system built on real accountability and true continuous improvement.
And that right there, that's the real test. The goal isn't just to scrape by and pass an inspection. The quality of the company's response to that finding, that's seen as a direct reflection of their entire safety culture. A smart, long-term fix is what everybody's looking for.
So let's zoom out a bit. What is all this mountain of detail and procedure? What does it all really mean?
Well, the next time you see one of those giant container ships on the horizon, try to remember it's not just a lone ship out there. It's really just the most visible part of a much, much larger and mostly invisible system of safety, of standards, and of accountability.
And why should you care? Because this quiet, relentless, almost obsessive attention to detail, that's what makes our global supply chains work. It's the reason you can buy a banana from halfway across the world or get a package delivered right on time. It is the hidden machinery that makes our modern world, well, possible.
It kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other huge, invisible systems are out there working all around us every single day just to keep our world humming along?